you guys gotta hold on for a minute before we tell you what the reply is, because I'm gonna tell you, it means we got
We're
basically
going to ramp it up, is what you're saying.
get your boots. No, they ain't hearing it. Get your boots. And I'll tell you in a minute. And Asa Khalif, if you're listening already, go dust your bullhorn off. Well, Asa Khalif, no dust ever grows on that bullhorn. I'm just telling you, we got to look. We got to take that song and put something in it, put something behind it, folks. Good morning to each of you. Welcome back to the Power Hour. 6:06 in the morning right now, Friday, May the 28th.
It's Friday.
Going into Memorial Day weekend, so even though it's the 28th and there are 3 days left, for all intents and purposes, this is the last day of May that most people will remember. The first Memorial Day post-COVID, man, please.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
It's going to be turnt.
Stay off the streets.
Even church folk going to be turnt this weekend.
There will be nobody in church this weekend.
No, not even virtual church.
Not
it's like
virtual church.
Daddy, you know it's virtual. Yeah. I'll catch Rev next week. Catching up for a year's worth of quarantine. Yeah, it's going to be something else this weekend, folks. Even with the rain's not going to stop, folks. But the weekend weather looks great for Monday. We're going to find out what the weather looks like today in just a moment. But, yeah, so we're here every Monday through Friday. Check us out 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. And those two streams are broadcasting live. You can actually interact with us. I mean, we're kind of like, folk are like, oh, I want to call. It's like, yeah, we're kind of doing the whole 21st century thing. It's like, damn it, I wanted an operator. No. Just press 3. Press 4 if you're upset with city council. Press 5 if your issues with Bill Hite and the school board. Press 6 if none of the first 5 are yours, and we'll give you the second menu. Anyway, sitting across from me is the aforementioned Bishop Dwayne David Rice.
And sitting across from me is the Reverend Dr. Mark Kelly Tyler.
And bringing you, this show and the next show, Wake Up with the Word. She stays, I don't know how she does it, 4 straight hours in the booth. She's serious about it. Queen Kawesa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kawesa. How you doing today?
I'm all right. I am glad it's Friday, though, but I'm here. It's a good day, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm here.
How was the ride? How's the weather?
Ride wasn't too bad at all, to be honest. There's not a little more traffic than I thought. I kind of thought that, more people would be off, I guess. But still not that bad. I was, able to make it with not, really any issues. I got stuck behind a truck. It's always great when you're on, one of those, one-way street kind of deals. So it's one lane, I mean. So it's always fun. You're like, if you could just go a little faster, just a little. But besides that, traffic wasn't bad. It's cooler out today. It feels good. To me, it feels good because, it's been muggy the past couple of days. So I would, I don't think that people need a jacket per se. Just a nice, maybe long sleeve shirt. I don't even know if it's going to get up to 70 today, but it's supposed to be kind of rainy today. So. But enjoy it while you can.
Thank you. We appreciate you. And enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, too.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but it might be a whole bunch of sleeping. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are you're not barbecuing?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Barbecuing means, because you gotta have it just right. You know what I mean? You got to season your chicken and your meats. You got to make the potato salad just right, and sometimes you just don't feel like having that level of care. And I don't, it's not, if you're not going to go all in, then you shouldn't go in at all. That's how I feel about barbecues. But
well, I just want you to know that according to Mabel on Facebook Live, Queen Kawesa rocks.
Thank you. You rock too.
See, it's like feel good Friday. And so hit the share button on Facebook Live. If you're on YouTube, share this out with your friends. You can, tweet it out. You can do whatever. get the word out. However, that we are having this important conversation as we get ready to carry you into the weekend. Glad to see Deborah and Linda, Rafaelis, and Deacon Maleka. What's up, Kanisha? Ed is on, who says we have the fastest hour in radio. I haven't forgotten that, Ed. And of course, Bishop Peggy and others check in with us. Glad to see Wanda in as well.
Nikki Tim is in on YouTube.
Yeah, you know, YouTubers are kind of like, the reason you don't see my name is because it's YouTube and I don't want to be known. So, it's like I want to actually listen to your show and not get flack because of it.
And State Rep Dorisha K. Parker is joining us this morning.
Yeah, and to Wanda from out in the Bergs. The Berg.
You know. That's not even the Bergs, man.
No, I said the Berg.
Oh, the Berg. Okay.
Like the Harrisburgs, the Pittsburghs.
She's in Carlisle. Which is...
Nah, man, she's like past Burbs. You that's something altogether different. I don't even know what you call it. Tawanda lives out there. She's probably still trying to figure out what to call it. Andres is in. Gary is in. Glad to see you all. That's right. Keep checking in. All right, so check it. First of all, before we talk about the fact that we still got some organizing to do, can we recognize on today Cam Anthony, Philadelphia's own, won on The Voice.
Congratulations, Cam Anthony.
Do you know anything about this young man?
I know nothing about this young man. Nothing.
Kwesa, do you know anything about this young man?
I don't, but I hear he's very, very talented.
He's 19 and he's from North Philly. And according to his bio on here, it says he grew up in North Philly and turned music as an escape from the violence and crime he faced in the city. He learned at an early age how to control his voice and honed his skills in the church choir. Uh-oh, somebody's church is going to get a nice tithing check this week.
It's more than $1 million, right?
Maybe. Yeah, right. At 11, Cam's life changed forever after a video of him singing a Bruno Mars song went viral. I listened to that song this morning, by the way, and I couldn't believe you when you hear him at 11. Maybe you can find it. It's it won't be hard to find. It's probably got 10 million views to it. But he was then on Ellen DeGeneres. He opened for Patti LaBelle. He performed at the White House for the Easter egg role at the age of 12. He was signed by Dr. Dre at 12 and spent the rest of his teen years recording and performing. And so
he was signed by Dr. Dre at 12?
Yeah.
Well, how was he on The Voice then? I thought it was an amateur show.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I mean, this young guy. When you hear this, if you can, if Kwesi can find it, there's a clip of him singing this song at 11, and just whoa, that is not an 11-year-old. Wanda, of course, Wanda Davis knows him. Wanda knows everybody in Philly. It's my member. Wanda says, "I do, Pastor. He's an awesome young man. He's part of Children of the Arts. Very sweet young man." Glad to see Sandra Fields out there checking in. She's got to go back to that school bus job now. And boy, that must have been a good year for you, Sandra. So you have it, Kwesa? Yeah.
Queuing it up now, yeah.
Sweet. All right, before we talk about Philadelphia Weekly, and that's actually, the way they're acting is WEAKLY. They're acting weekly.
Can I just say congratulations to you, though? I mean, I know we want to talk about that in a sec, but
what'd I do?
Well, yesterday the Civilian Police Oversight Commission passed the City Council.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know you and Elder Melanie DeBose and the Live Free team have been working on this for years. And it's it's been all in the paper and everything. And you are really deserving. Power has been talking about this for a very long time, calling for this for a very long time. And when nobody else was calling for it, you were calling for it. When I say you, I mean talking about Live Free and Power. And it has come to pass.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, man. Hey, look, folk like Gail Lax, co-chair for Power Live Free, and I mean, just a ton of people who volunteer. Some of us are now like, staffing this, but I mean, for the most part, these are persons who are volunteers who give tireless hours. Folk that, whose names you may never hear. I'll just call their first names because I don't know if they want their last names out there that way, but like Amy and Bo and Michael and people, Sherry, who are like in these Zoom meetings for hours every time
Hmm.
the CPOC legislation changes a bit, who jump on a Zoom call right at that moment and just dive deep, do deep dives. And organizing is, you and I learned this early on because we entered this together. Really, in this form of, I think both of
Right.
us can say we've
Right.
been doing this for
Right.
years
Absolutely. Yeah.
before, but kind of this form, it is not for people who want to parachute in.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there are places for that because, like, people who don't like an Al Sharpton, for example, I'm like, no, there is a place for that because sometimes you need a somebody to create something and energy in a moment,
Right.
and then you like roll out. And that's so I don't. I'm beyond now trying to say it's got to be this way or
Hmm.
no other way. I think each of these pieces help, and so, like all the organizing and activism last year on the streets, more than anything, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it was like black folk dying that really made this happen. But yeah, but the organizing side behind it, like you said, it's a long slog. Now let's hope that it gets funded
Hmm.
and that the money gets there, and more than the money, that it also has the powers that are necessary for the first iteration of real civilian oversight to do investigations and to hold people accountable. And then finally, the last part. Got to make sure that the selection panel is right because they
Right.
will find the first commissioners. Got to make sure the first commissioners are right because they will find the first executive director. Got to make sure the first executive director is right because she or he will hire the staff that will actually go out and do all this.
That's right.
So there's so I mean, so like for most of us at the table, we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You get
We
so
got
tired, but you
we
still got
got
pieces. You gotta make sure. Now you got to go to the budget hearings to make sure it's funded.
well,
And
just because we knew yesterday was gonna happen. It's like, yeah, that ain't the thing we worried about right now.
it's the budget.
And the powers
Yes,
and
absolutely.
the right people.
That's right. So you still got some work to do, but in the meantime, congratulations.
Hey,
Every step should be celebrated.
but ask me how I gained this healthy dose of cynicism that now says, and even after all those things I just laid out happen,
Right.
and then it's like, now, do all the right people who are in the right places, who are fully funded, who've got the right powers on paper,
Right.
do they actually do it?
Yes.
I'll celebrate in 5 years. When I look back and say, man, CPOC is really outperforming what we thought.
Yes.
Then, so it's funny you brought this up because I was thinking about you yesterday, and I was like, if this comes up today, I was going to reference this. Philly will love this. Remember the movie Independence Day?
Yes.
So Philly's on Will Smith. Since we're celebrating Philly artists today,
Hmm.
Will Smith, before my man was like, "Come on, man, crack open that cigar." He said, "No, bro, not till after it's over."
That's right. Not till the fat lady sings. That's what he said.
There you go. And the fat lady didn't sing in that case till they brought that alien mothership down.
That's right.
See, you don't celebrate and smoke the cigar when you get one of the little fighters down.
Right.
That is a great victory, shooting that fighter down, but we want the mothership to come down.
Hmm. Absolutely.
You like that?
Yes, that was very good. That was a good reference.
I knew you Philly folk would love that.
Shout out to Will Smith.
Y'all should be proud of Will. All right, look, it's 6:20. When we come back, we're gonna listen to Cam Anthony's 11-year-old performance. This kid, 11 years old from North Philly. Robert is always reminding us while we talk about the trauma and the pain and the suffering that we also got to mix in some black joy. That's right. That's like a well-created, well-crafted sermon. It's not all bad. It's not all good. It's got to have balance. So we're gonna like hear from Cam Anthony on the other side of the break, and we will also then tell you about Philadelphia Weekly, who's acting very weakly, to use a Donald Trumpism. We'll be right back.
Between family dinners, bedtime stories, and study sessions, Pico knows that life never stops moving. So if you need help paying your energy bills, there are financial programs available, like the Customer Assistance Program, or CAP, that offers a monthly credit that can lower your gas and electricity payments. Learn how Pico can help keep your life moving with CAP. See if you qualify at pico.com/CAP.
AARP is working to protect Americans 50 plus by making sure you have the latest information about the COVID-19 vaccines and the distribution plans in Pennsylvania. Just visit aarp.org/PA vaccine to learn who's eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, when, where, and how to get it in Philadelphia and the rest of the Commonwealth, and what you might want to discuss with your doctor. That's aarp.org/PA vaccine. Tune in Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. to hear Empire Capital and Consulting founder Mark Palmer's show titled Black Money, Black Power. This show centers around black money and how black power is derived from money. Tune in every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Black Money, Black Power, hosted by Mark Palmer.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler. We're here Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest in news happenings around Philadelphia and, of course, our opinions. And we have plenty of those. Now we're getting ready to stay tuned for a special selection from the winner of The Voice, Cam Newton, as we listen to a song that he performed when he was just 11 years old, right here in the city of Philadelphia. What?
Same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. A song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. My heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like, ooh. Too young, too dumb to realize that I should have bought you flowers. I should have held your hand, give you all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party, 'cause all you wanted to do was dance. Now my baby's dancing, and she's dancing with another man.
You 11 years old, dance with another man. I mean, another fourth grader, fifth grader.
That's funny.
My God. So Cam Anthony, I laughed because you said Cam Newton.
Oh, did I say Cam Newton? Is that why you were laughing? I couldn't figure out why you were laughing. Okay.
Well, I was
My
laughing.
bad.
But no, that's really not why I was laughing, because of course that's an easy mistake to make.
Okay.
But if you saw him last night on the Voice, 2 nights ago when he
His hair
won,
looks like Cam Newton.
right?
Yeah.
And the way he was dressed, I'm like, boy, you're on your way,
Yeah.
because you know Cam Newton is known for like some serious style, and Cam Anthony has some of that flair as well.
And the hairstyle is very similar.
Yeah, so that's North Philly's own. That was at what age, Kwesi? Was that at 11 or 12? That one?
I'm not sure.
He was, yeah, but that's not even the clip I heard. The one I heard was him singing a Bruno Mars song that he just absolutely killed and owned. And
Was that a Bruno Mars song? I
Yeah,
thought
that's
that was Bruno
Bruno.
Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's Bruno Mars too?
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to Bruno Mars. I'm the only one in the house that doesn't. I mean, it's not like I don't listen to him, Kwesi. Hold on, calm down. It's not, I have zero things against Bruno Mars at all. I just don't, he's not like, in my playlist, you wouldn't find him there intentionally. If it came on, I'd be like, oh, it's like, good, who's that? My daughter's like, who is that? Bruno. My wife is like, you don't know who that is? I'm sorry. If it ain't classic hip hop or old school gospel, I probably don't know it.
I hear you. I feel
But-
you,
but
even I know Bruno Mars. I just want to say that. I know Bruno Mars.
You know his songs?
I know
hear
some
them?
of the songs. Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, again, I just, I love the fact that this young guy, again, out of North Philly, and somebody, the way that they phrased it, I think is really important because it ties into what you were just talking about earlier about like the win for the Power Live Free team and all the other organizers and activists that are out there. So it's not solely the work of any one group, and the elected officials as well who took ownership of this can't celebrate that without talking about Council Member Curtis Jones, who just really became a believer on this. Yeah, and a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed what a champion looks like on this, really, even after receiving pushback. Folk think it was going too far. But the way in
And
which
the public safety team, you have the public safety committee too. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. Yep. And
Can I say something about this? I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off, but
no, go ahead.
no, I just want to say that I mean it's important. You know, we have a saying in our work, right? No permanent friends, no permanent enemies, and there are moments when we got to celebrate when council does right. And when council leaders do right. So, again, thank you, Councilman Curtis Jones. Thank you to Public Safety Committee, for doing everything that you did. We celebrate you today, and we're really grateful for your leadership in on this issue. And we look forward to hopefully more productive relationships working with you in the future on these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're talking about, just want to make sure I get all the names right. So in addition to Councilmember Jones, you're also talking about his co-chair, Kenyatta Johnson, members Helen Gim, Derek Green, Isaiah Thomas, Kendra Brooks, Jamie Gauthier, and I think I got all 7 of them. Yeah, I mean, an incredible committee that has really taken this serious and taken policing serious in this moment. So again, shout out to them and the rest of the council, those members who voted for it. And I mean, and what you just said is a perfect, segue, because what I was going to lift up is on the Cam Anthony story. They kind of playing off of the title of the show that he won, The Voice. They said that he learned how to control his voice at an early age. Now, as a preacher, I'm going to take that. I'm taking that and running with it all the way down into the end zone because, so everybody has a voice, not just a singing voice, but everyone has a voice. And, having a voice, what you and I have learned the painful way is that, it may start with exercising your voice outside the halls of power. And, and railing at those forces that refuse to hear us. And that's an appropriate response when things continually happen and nobody listens. But you have to harness that voice. You have to control that voice. You have to bring that voice under your subjection and be able to raise it when you want, be able to lower it when you want. I'm telling you, you can just kind of run with that whole metaphor, like it just go crazy with it. But it is something, and if you can control your voice and use it properly, you too can win.
There you go.
Whether it's on The Voice, whether it's in city council, whether it is wherever you are in your community, it is about controlling your voice and making it have the biggest impact that it can have. Free preaching today. That's free preaching today.
That's right. That's a preaching class right there you just gave.
Y'all want some free preaching? It's actually always free.
Except for those that pay their tithes and offerings. So
I'm just saying, it is so powerful, man. I mean, I just can't even get over, what this means on so many other levels and how it inspires, a lot of people. And here's his response to a neighborhood where he grew up, and it's just like, man, it's dangerous. I don't know what to do. Well, I'm gonna find somewhere to put my my talent. And so
that's great.
Oh, all right. And we have an acknowledgement from someone on Facebook. Please don't you say it. I want to say this because I want to hype this up at the end of the show.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, because you buried the lead story on us.
I did.
Yep. But don't worry, I got it. I caught it. So yeah. So it's talking about harnessing the power of our voice, our collective voice. Bro.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, We all started to call into Philadelphia Weekly, who put out a contest, and I'm using air quotes on that word contest, a game to guess how many murders there would be by the general election on November the 2nd. They promised to give you the winner. They promised would get I don't
swag.
know.
They were going to get swag.
Yeah.
T-shirts and I guess other things that said Philadelphia Weekly on it.
I hope it's spelled with an A. Gotta have that silent A in there, bro. They're weak. What's up with this? All right, so you think, all right, so of course, thank you to everyone who yesterday, I'm not sure about the other shows on the station, but I'm certain people talked about it yesterday and were moving people to try to do something about it. And so I know that their inboxes were flooded, that they heard from the community about this, disgusting. Insensitive is not even a strong enough word. This is insensitive is, have you lost weight lately? Insensitive is, wow, you sure are looking tired. I mean, that's insensitive, right? Things that we say to people and to one another that's just kind of, I don't know, insensitive. This is beyond the pale.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
Yes.
And in their own words, quoting someone who I guess wrote to them, abhorrent.
Yeah.
So they doubled down. They've issued an apology of sorts by doubling down.
Where is it issued to? Or they sent it in the email?
It's in the same place it was. The first one was this, under the state of our city. If you PhiladelphiaWeekly.com, and don't click it. I'll read it to you. Don't even give them the benefit of your click. So they said, what's really abhorrent? ? Some readers are outraged at our quote unquote contest. Now let's turn that outrage to Philly's elected leaders who have failed miserably at keeping us all safe. Many of you have responded to our recent contest to guess the number of murders in Philadelphia by Election Day this fall, including the Philadelphia delegation of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, which issued a statement calling it abhorrent and unconscionable. That means, Darisha Parker, House member, you're one of those people, I'm sure, who had your voice in there. And so here's their answer. First, we find the 210 homicides in Philadelphia in 2021 abhorrent and unconscionable. The 210 homicides represent a 43% increase over the same time last year and an annual pace that would more than double 2015's total of 280. For the record, we have not received 210 statements from the delegation calling the murders abhorrent and unconscionable. Apparently, it takes a silly, patently absurd contest for them to address the matter. Second, to be clear, it was not Philadelphia Weekly that made a mockery of the city's homicide crisis. After all, we aren't the elected officials entrusted with solutions. No, in fact, the mockery is Philadelphia's elected leaders. I told you they're doubling down. It is on their watch that the city went from the lowest murder rate in years to the highest, and a low crime rate to an out-of-control environment. Before our elected leaders have the audacity to again do what they do best, or in fact the only thing they do, which is to pass the buck and assess blame and grievances, perhaps they will take responsibility as the adults in the room who are the ones who presided over this mess and own it. Maybe, just maybe, they will realize that they are the mockery, and maybe we will continue to mock them until they get serious about fixing this. And then here's the last two sentences in this entire thing. Now, finally, they're going to address what really pissed everybody off yesterday. To all of you who objected to our contest, it's reasonable to think it was tasteless, and we've heard your outrage. Now, we hope to see that same outrage directed at elected leaders who are failing miserably at their most basic responsibility, keeping Philadelphians safe.
For a news publication that absolutely lacked any understanding about the gun violence crisis in Philadelphia. It lacked it so much. I told you yesterday I went and looked at the information on the guy who owns the paper, Dan McDonough, and he refers to himself as an American capitalist, and I think he thinks he's Trump-esque. Um, and I'm just like deeply disturbed by the lack of critical understanding, critical thinking. That it's not just elected officials. There are other issues. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are issues that need to be addressed, that should have been addressed, that have not been addressed. But nevertheless, trying to deflect from the fact that their disgusting tirade in making fun of a crisis of epic proportions in the city of Philadelphia, they should not be deflected to politicians. They need to own their crap. And if they can't own their crap, then we're just going to have to help the people that buy ads in their program understand why they should not buy ads in Philadelphia Weekly anymore, and understand why the advertisers shouldn't be there, and get people to not use they have a big section of private ads, prevent people from doing that as well. But I mean, that's just deflecting from the fact that they were absolutely tasteless, classless, and disgusting in their approach to this whole matter. It's one thing to put pressure on political leaders and to call out for them to do the right thing and to address the issues, and to be able to use your publication as a vehicle to write stories, to do series on the ways that they think they could address, gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. But to do a contest and then try to flip it and not own their crap, that is problematic. I think I can say crap on the air.
Yeah, I mean, look, there.
I wanted to say more than crap, but I will stop right there.
I mean, the line that got me is, and maybe we will continue to mock them, talk about elected officials, until they get serious about fixing this. Well, you do understand who you actually mocked in this moment, right? This is what I'm saying. It's like, so the entire apology is the sentence that says, "We heard your outrage," and what? It's obvious by this non-apology, that you didn't hear anything. I mean, this is like, oh my God, I don't know, man. If you just want to put kind of like, what does white male privilege look like in the 21st century? Give somebody the contest and then this reaction to the blowback. It's like, we hear you're complaining, but don't be mad at us. Be mad at them because they did it. It's like, bro, we're talking yesterday on behalf of all of the family members of people who have lost loved ones, who are already so deeply hurt that they can't ever get over it. I was thinking last night, kind of run through my Rolodex in my mind of all the friends I lost from childhood to gun violence in Oakland. I mean, before I was 21, dude, I had lost 5, 6 people who were close to me who had been murdered. I mean, at 19, our thing was, if we make it to 21, what we're going to do to celebrate. If you make it to 21, at 19, to have a worldview that is firmly convinced that you probably won't make it to 21. And so all of the families of people who have been snatched and taken away because of gun violence, to then just say to them, let's turn it into a game, and you don't understand that is what look, at this point, your apology should have been, look, we'll come back for the politicians later. Because, you get an argument from the two of us. We throw our fair share of shade at elected officials, and they know that. But this ain't about them.
No.
What you did is hurtful and disrespectful to the family members of the dead.
It devalues human life. I mean, not to say that murder doesn't devalue human life, but what they just did in this particular circumstance just even more so devalued human life. And it was a publication that people trust to be able to share news and information.
Used to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to have to step this thing up. I mean, yesterday, Power launched a campaign around this. I know Live Free was doing work on this. We sent out information to our mailing list of quite a few, tens of thousands of people, to reach out to them. We posted stuff on social media to get people to call. And it just appears like, I keep, part of me wants to say, because, the Live Free team is doing work around talking with journalists about changing the narrative around the issues of gun violence. And you all have had 2 town halls so far. Denise James, who used to work for 6ABC as a reporter, is working with us to put this together. Very powerful programs. People from the Enquirer, the Trib, NBC News, others have been with us on these town halls, which I think is a very powerful vehicle for us to use in this moment to talk about this. And I keep wanting to say we should just invite them on the program. But then the part of it is I don't want to invite them on the program because I don't want them to get any publicity or any credit out of any of this. Because, and then I don't want a conversation distorted by some, half-baked weekly, newspaper in Philadelphia that is going to be on par with the other media outlets in the city of Philadelphia. So, I'm wrestling with all of that as we think through this, because it's just abysmal. It's abysmal. I think that's the word I can use. Yeah. Anyway, I know we got to go to break.
Well, no. Look, bro. I mean, this is a day for all of that. So when we come back on the other side, we'll continue this conversation and talk about Memorial Day coming up, and also going to introduce you to one of our newest and youngest listeners by name. I saw a name posted, and it went. We told somebody buried the lead on us. And one quick thing as we go to break, Raphael says a lot of black problems stem from self-hate and endemic problems that originate in the community and the family dynamic to a degree. But if you're talking about the origination of it, I mean, you can't talk about black problems today without white supremacy. And, I'm not saying Africa was a utopia, because it was not. But I don't think people were just like rolling through to each other's villages and just like doing drive-bys. So, something happened on that Middle Passage and throughout the process of slavery and the last, 100+ years afterwards that also plays a part in this. I know people are like, the past. Let's not talk about the past. Of course you don't want to talk about the past if you benefited from it, and you don't want to acknowledge that part. We got to go to break at 6:42 or so. We'll be back on the other side. Asa Khalid just joined. Get your bullhorn ready. We'll be right back.
For the past 10 years, Comcast has been helping students get ready. We've connected 5 million students from low-income families to low-cost, high-speed internet. We're working with both nonprofit partners and city leaders to create over 1,000 Wi-Fi connected lift zones in community centers nationwide. And now we're committing $1 billion to reach 50 million people with the connectivity, skills, training, and the resources they need to succeed in a digital world. Learn more at comcast.com/education.
Stage Door, focusing on arts and culture in and around Philadelphia. Hosted by Tiffany Bacon and co-moderated by Jeffrey Page of the Philadelphia Theater Company. Part of The Source, Fridays at noon, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. Sponsored by New Voices sponsor Comcast, NBC Universal, and Pico.
Clark Roofing Company has over 30 years of quality roofing experience, providing exceptional customer service, honesty, and professionalism. Clark Roofing is a second-generation master roofer, installing top-quality roofing systems for commercial and residential properties across the tri-state area. For fast, dependable service, call 215-365-ROOF. That's 215-365-7663.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Mattress Firm. Some volume picks up out there 95 southbound from Cottman down through Bridge. Heavy Betsy Ross through Girard, northbound side. North of Girard Avenue, pretty jammed up there. Vine Expressway through Girard. Still an accident off to the right. That's been out there for a while now. Vine Expressway through Center City in pretty good shape so far. Same thing on the Schuylkill Expressway. No reported problems there as of yet. On the Boulevard, Route 1 southbound between F Street and Rising Sun. Accident there in the inner drive. Watch for restrictions there. Pretty serious crash. A lot of crews and equipment on the scene there on the Boulevard. starts southbound 55 north, building a bit from Deptford into 42 this morning. It's Mattress Firm's best Memorial Day sale ever. For a limited time, save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's, plus get a free adjustable base with your $6.99 mattress purchase. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a word weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Increasing clouds this morning, rain this afternoon, a high of 66 degrees, a soaking rain tonight with breezy conditions, and gusty winds and showers and chilly for Saturday and Sunday. High of 57 on Saturday, Sunday afternoon, 59 degrees. Sunshine is back for Memorial Day Monday with a nice warm-up up to 74. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster and Mark Kelly Tyler. We are in our last segment for the week, and it's been a week. It's been a very long week.
I love having Helen Yabinas.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed our town hall, the symposium on gun violence, shifting the narrative, is so ironic. Shout out to Elder Melanie DeBose and Denise James for all the work that they did in putting that together, and all the amazing journalists that were on the second symposium. You can find it on Power's webpage, on Facebook page. But Helen Yabinas, who I don't know anybody, honestly, that really gives the kind of attention to the victims of gun violence in the city and covering their stories like her. I just don't. Now, I know there are a lot of people who do really good work, but I think all would kind of bow down and say, no, Helen, this is, she is the expert. So she was on the panel Wednesday night, and it's so ironic that that was Wednesday night, and then the Philadelphia Weekly crap happened the next morning.
Right.
As we're like literally with a room full of journalists talking about how do we shift the narrative about the coverage of gun violence, and then this drops. It's like, and so Helen responded to what they had to say, and she of course tears into them, but then she adds this at the end. But hey, if a game is what it would take to get everyone on board with tackling gun violence in a consistent and meaningful way, let's play. Except Philadelphia Weekly apparently forgot a big tenet of journalism. Comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, always punch up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. That crap was punching down.
Yeah, what I mean, that was my point that I was making earlier. Like, they could have used their vehicle to call out and address gun violence in a very different way. And they could have, you could still go after the political leaders and talk about why we haven't addressed poverty, why we haven't addressed housing, why we haven't, addressed the gun violence. I mean, the drug epidemic in the ways, in a deeper way, why we are still, disproportionately stopping black and brown people through stop and frisk, and all these things that create a level of animus and angst that exists in the city of Philadelphia with black people and police and all the struggles that we have and the oppression that we experience on a daily basis. They chose not to do that. They chose to go the ghetto. That's not the ghetto, right? They just chose to go I can't think of the appropriate adjective right now to be able to define their action, or adverb to be able to define their action. But it was just deplorable.
Yeah, I mean, it's it is a reinforcement that in this country, the reason that there is a slogan that turned into a movement called Black Lives Matter, because, white folk quickly tell you, well, what about white lives? It's like, stop. We know they matter. How do we know? Because if, 7, 8 white people were shot standing at the bus stop in Society Hill, we probably would still be talking about it to this day. Remember the tragedy of we'd have a big blue sign from the state to commemorate the spot, even though it's not even historical yet. We would have a big memorial. But who remembers the name of one person who got shot at Olney at the bus stop in a mass shooting during the pandemic? I'm like, so we know your life matters. We get it. We already know that. The entire society reinforces that it matters. And so what we're saying is that that these lives also matter. And, but when you do this, these kind of acts remind us why we have to continually yell that out. And yeah, man. So, so again, the pressure is working. They are definitely feeling it now. Will they continue to double down? Depends on what we do. And I happen to agree that you're right. Let's now go for their advertisers, such as they are. Run them out of business, basically. You ain't hearing us, then you're going to hear us.
That's right.
When you sitting around there next month trying to figure out how you're going to pay everybody, Mr. Capitalist, out of your pocket, because the capitalists don't ever want to make money spending their own money.
That's right. It's always about leveraging other people's money.
That's the first rule of capitalism. Donald Trump is like, I'll build a casino with your money and never pay you. And when the money run out, I take my name off of it. Moving on. Hey, happy Memorial Day to all the folk. Speaking of those who've gone before us, to all of those vets who are out there, and who many of whom paid the ultimate price. Hope that as we celebrate this weekend and enjoy friends and family, that we don't forget what actually brought us together. And speaking of friends and family, now here's a good way to bring this show this week to the end. Chardonnay, who is the daughter Arista, using my Boston accent. I think that was Boston. Chardonnay said in the chat early in the show, Christopher, with a K, says hello. Who is Christopher, grandfather?
Christopher David McCoy Royster is my grandson.
You got your name in there. David?
Yes.
Nice.
That's why I call him Christopher David, because he's got my middle name.
Christopher David McCoy
Royster.
Royster. Wow, little Royster. Welcome to the program. Can we get him on the phone real quick?
He's probably asleep, and if he's not sleeping, then he's eating, and I'm not disturbing that process.
He can't do an interview?
Only if you take his diaper off do you hear him make any noise. So then he starts crying like somebody's trying to take him out. He gets very upset. So Shar said he's making noise right now. So
see, he heard us. He heard us.
Yeah.
Little activist.
Yes.
Little organizer.
That's true. He's getting his lungs together and ready to go out the streets.
Mini Royster.
Oh boy,
man! Yeah. Are you gonna be like one of those grandfathers? I got friends, and in fact, even my younger brother has like grandchildren. Right? He's like put me to shame. I have like no grandchildren. He's got grandchildren, a whole brood of them, and he's like always on Instagram, man. Like with his this is like the craziest thing, And so, and I've got other friends who are likewise like now their entire Instagram feed is like you see these like Harden brothers. And they were like this grandkid on their lap, like everything the child does, they're like putting out there. Are you gonna be that grandfather?
Maybe I don't know. When Charlotte lets us start posting pictures, she hasn't let us post any pictures yet. But when we can start posting pictures, probably will do that. I mean, I actually want to be like the grandfather that the grandkids are always with. That they're always in tow. Like I'm going to action, he's gonna be right there with me. We're going to church, he's going to be right there with me. We're going to do things. And, I'm just letting folk know now, like when my grandchild comes into the room, everything stops. And, I don't care who I'm talking to. I've talked to the President of the United States. Excuse me, my grandson just walked into the room. And, that's the grandfather that I want to be.
Well, this President of the United States has a lot of decency and love for his grandchildren. He'd probably be like, hey, I'll do one up better than that. Come here, grandkids.
Yeah, bring them in.
Until you having a conversation about some important fact. Grandkids like all around on your Zoom meeting.
That's right. And I'm totally okay with that. As a matter of fact, my cousin who worked for the government used to talk about the fact when the vice president, she was in meetings with Vice President Biden, and whenever his wife called, he would stop a meeting and take her call. He never let her calls go to voicemail. And part of that has to do, he told them because of what happened with his first wife, that he always takes the phone call of the family members because you just don't know what you're getting a call for. So I was like, that's deep. That's real deep.
Yeah, yeah. All right, hey, well, look, man, I think that's all we got. But I mean, I wanted to end on a high note. And what better high note to end on than the naming of your first grandchild, Christopher David McCoy Royster?
Yes, yes. Thank you, everybody, for checking out the Power Hour this week. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., Monday through Friday, to bring you the latest in news happenings around Philadelphia and, of course, our opinions, which we have plenty of. Thank you, Dr. Tyler, for everything you do, holding it down with me in the morning. Thank you, Kuwaisa, for holding the boards, making sure we're on the air, on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you to everybody that's listening to us, that's listening to us on the air, listening to us through the app, through YouTube, through Facebook. Hey, you might be listening to us through Alexa. Hey, Alexa, turn on WURD Radio. We appreciate you so much. Now stay tuned for Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones, and we'll, listen, do us a favor. Go out. Change the damn world, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
Just in case I have to run.